Good afternoon, fans, and welcome to this week's edition of the Black and Gold Report, a program all about UNCP athletics. I'm Kevin Freeman, and today on the show we'll be joined by head football coach Pete Shinnick, and on the second half of the program we'll be talking to head cross-country coach Gary Aycock. But first, as always, joined by Coach Shinnick. Coach, welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
A very comfortable 52-14 win over Charleston. Really your first game all season where the result was never in doubt. Talk about the Braves' overall performance in this game. I'm sure you're pleased.
No, very pleased, Kevin, with what we were able to get accomplished, and really started from the first series. Defense came out and shut them down, and then we were able to get a punt, and then the offense took the ball and went right down the field. So we were very fortunate, I think, early on to have what we were looking for and what we wanted to get accomplished. So from the opening get-go to getting the ball and scoring to shutting them down, very pleased, and then being up the way we were at halftime. I think kickoff cover and field goal protection were about the only two things that we were a little concerned about. And we made a couple adjustments, and I think we got both those things taken care of.
And you were up 30-0 at halftime, and I know there's been a couple games in the past where the Braves have sort of let their guard down and let the team get back into it. What did you say to them at halftime to try to keep that lead?
Well, I just really wanted them, we had stressed all week long that we wanted to play a full game. We wanted to play a complete game in every aspect of what we were doing. So at halftime we said, look, everything's going well. Now, can we put another quarter together and then put one more, the fourth quarter, and put the final touches on this? And again, very pleased with how our guys responded, what they were able to accomplish. Our best game by far.
We've discussed a few times this year that you've been waiting for the Braves to play this complete game, as you call it. Clearly it happened this weekend then, right?
No doubt. Really everything, I think, as I said, a couple of kickoff returns, we were out of gap, and then we just have not been very good at field goal protection. And it's, it hasn't been one thing. It's been multiple things, which is kind of scary at times.
Well, let me talk about redshirt freshman Dominique Bridges real quick. He really stepped up this week. He had 6 tackles, he had 2 interceptions to lead the UNCP defense. And in fact, he and Elijah Williams and LJ Stroman and Darcus Elliott, all newcomers, by the way, freshmen or first years, really paced the defense this week. Does it get you excited to see how your defense can develop in the future with all these underclassmen and freshmen dominating the stat lines?
Yeah, I think, when you sit back and look at it, you go, okay, for the next couple of years, we're going to have some pretty good guys. The thing that I'm really excited about is that they've just gotten better each week. Elijah was hurt a little bit early on. Bridges was able to start because LJ didn't take care of some things this week, and so Dominique stepped up and had a great game, and we just kept rolling with him. But I'm happy to see them get better each week that they're playing. And we've played 7 games now, and I think we've played our best defensive football game by far.
Right, and you mentioned off camera that if it wasn't for a couple of long runs that they happened to get off with their option, that you would have kept them under 200 yards for the game. And so besides those 2 little plays, very solid defensive performance. Let's talk about Luke Charles for a minute as well. He had a very efficient day behind center. He was 24 of 29. He had 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. What was he doing? Why was he so effective this week? What was he doing so well? Was he able to pick out receivers? Was he seeing the whole field? Talk about Luke.
Well, first off, he put us in the right play. I think we ran 75 plays, and probably about 20 of those were checks, where he was putting us in the right situation, number one. So that's really the best thing that he did all game long. And then we added to our screen package a little bit, and we were able to throw a couple of shorter balls, which I think opened up some things later on in the running game. But by far, his best game. He was somewhere around 80% completion percentage, threw a couple deep balls extremely well, was able to hit our tight end down the seam a couple times, Cody Harrington. So he really saw everything pretty well. I think there was 2 or 3 passes where he kind of locked in on one side of the field and he didn't read the whole field. But I think in the first time, we've been running one route for about 5 years now. For the first time, we hit the number 4 read, which is really a compliment to Luke and him kind of seeing everything.
Let me put you on the spot here for a minute, Coach. In your opinion, as a head coach, what makes an ideal quarterback?
Well, number one, he's got to be tough because the protection isn't always there. And if you look back at the beginning of our season, Luke had to sit in there and get hit a few times. And the fact that the last couple of games he hasn't gotten hit much, our offensive line and our backs are getting better at protection. So he's got to be tough. He's got to be a leader because he's the one that everything goes through. And then, Bill Walsh says this, and I believe firmly, you got to have great feet because you got to be able to step up and play in the pocket, and then you've also got to be able to, get your feet set to be able to make that throw. So Toughness, leadership, and feet.
Well, real quick, Coach, what is leadership to you? I mean, what does it mean for a quarterback to be a leader? What is that?
Well, number one, the guys have to trust him and know that, you know, he's got their best interest. He won't throw a ball that's going to lead him into a safety and get him blown up. And when he makes a bad read or he makes a bad decision, he admits it. And he's willing to say, hey, I'll get you a better ball next time. Even if it's a catchable ball, if he can find a way to, you know, just let those guys know, hey, I'll do everything I can to make that work. And so it's getting your teammates to trust you and know that you got their best interest in mind. All
right, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we'll talk to Coach Hinnick about the upcoming game against Carson Newman.
Founded in 1887 as the Croatan Normal School, the University of North Carolina at Pembroke has grown to a student body of over 6,000 and is now one of the most diverse institutions in the nation. As we prepare to celebrate our 125th anniversary in 2012, we remember the rich heritage of this institution and anticipate an exciting future. With an average class size of 21 students, the University of North Carolina at Pembroke is a place where students will get the personal attention they deserve at a great value. If you want to know your professors and classmates and have an enriching experience inside and outside of the classroom, then UNC Pembroke might be exactly what you're looking for. If you have what it takes to be brave, check out experience.uncp.edu. There you can take an online campus tour, schedule a campus visit, or apply for admission. Going to UNCP isn't for everyone. It's for the brave.